Okay, I'm going to be talking about the Nikon FM3a. This is mine. I took it to Miami and I shot a roll and a half of Portra 400 and Portra 160. I don't actually know which of these photos is which. It doesn't matter. They all look the same as far as the film stock. And I also took a very fancy digital camera, a Sony a7 III. Left it in the hotel safe the entire time, did not take it out. I'll talk about that a little later. Long story short, I don't own that camera anymore. Don't want it. So let's get into some photos and we'll talk about the camera in a little bit. The first one on one of the rolls, I hate this photo. I took a second version of it because I had a feeling that one wouldn't come out. Still hate it. Hate everything about this photo, the colors, the composition. This one, also not so good, but I did leave in all the photos except for the photos with people that I don't want to put on YouTube. This one, I was pretty happy with this one. The way I scanned, I didn't have automatic dust correction, so I should go in and correct a lot of these photos. I was using Negative Lab Pro for most of these. This shot, I messed up the composition. I walked along for 2 blocks going, I can't believe I should have had another go. This one, I like this photo a lot. It came out soft if you look at the name of the hotel, but like slightly out of focus, but I really like that photo. These chickens in the parking lot, I tried to get as close as I could to them. I took 3 photos of them, which is probably too many. There's another photo these photos are kind of out of order. Well, they're totally out of order, so later on you're going to see probably the best photo of those chickens, but I'm not saying it's that great. This is South Beach at night. They have all these Art Deco hotels. I wish I'd taken a tilt shift lens. So the FM3a, let's talk about it a bit. Nikon's final, greatest mechanical SLR camera. The headline feature of this is that it's fully mechanical. You can shoot up to 1/4000 and fully mechanical, no need for batteries or anything like that, so your batteries run out. But why do you have batteries, you ask? Well, if you do have batteries, you can shoot in aperture priority mode, and you even get DX coding, which is, how many mechanical cameras like this have DX coding, or, this style of SLR, like manual focus? Can't be that many. This is the only one I have, and I have a bunch of Nikons. Let's get back to some photos. I'll talk about this camera a bit more later. This is a double exposure. I took one of the beach that I knew was underexposed, so I just turned around and made it a double exposure with this hotel, but it's kind of lousy. I tried doing this as well. The car is way too dark and the hotel is way too bright. It's bad. I like this building a lot. I walked by this a couple times, but I wish I had a tilt shift or Nikon PC lens perspective correction. Same here. And I also wish I'd taken a wider lens. I missed one of the greatest shots because I only had a 50mm with me. The shot's whatever. Next time I go somewhere like this, I'm taking a 28mm lens for sure. Here's some Portra 400. It's a photo I took a couple years ago. I think I took this on Portra 160. So this was outside a really nice modern art museum they have there. I forget the name of it, but I believe it's a woman's name in the title of it. There's another one. It was so windy, so cold. Well, so cold for Miami. When we were there, it was sort of like the worst in a year, I think. So this is interesting. I took 2 photos of this thing, intending to kind of make a diptych of them. So this is the first one. This is the second one. It's the same building or whatever it is, edifice. And then so I put them together in Photoshop, and this is what I came up with. And this is how I had envisioned it when I took the 2 photos. But just on a whim, I actually dragged one over, and I didn't move it up, didn't move it down, just dragged it exactly over to see how they look when matched up. And I actually think I like this better coming up. They went together so well. I like the fact that the color correction is different on the left. I wouldn't change that because I'm not trying to pretend this was one photo, one fluid photo, but I think I like this better, but I'm curious what people think. I guess that's what YouTube comments are for. Now we're going to have a windsurfer guy. I was out on the beach. It was really interesting. Lighting kept changing, and I probably took too many photos of this guy. I took 4, I think. Okay, let's get back to the camera. So, some people say that the FM3a, I've heard this a lot, that it's more like it should be called the FE3, not the FM3. But I don't know where people are getting that. I think it's one of those things where somebody said it and 1,000 people repeat it. It has every good feature of the FM2, has every good feature of the FE2, and it's good. I should have moved my pen. This is bad videomanship. But I'm showing how in the video here, I was showing how it has DX coding. You can just set it DX, and I mean, that's so handy. I love DX coding because sometimes I forget to adjust my ISO dial when I put in a new roll of film. So I don't have to worry about it. It's got, aperture priority mode there. But like I say, if you have no battery, don't worry. You can shoot at any shutter speed you want. You just don't get metering. Okay, so this is the guy again. Did I mention I scanned these and then I color corrected using Negative Lab Pro. And I was experimenting it, especially when I did these photos, so the color changes a bit. There's also this really wild lighting where it was super cloudy, but the sun was just blasting the actual sand because there's a break in the clouds to the right of the frame here. So some of the lighting in these looks really weird. This photo, again, I wish I had a tilt shift lens and I wish the cars weren't there. And it looks kind of flat and not good. This one's like maybe a little too on the nose. Ooh, I'm in Miami. I'm doing some retro shooting. I'm sure everybody takes that photo. This one, same kind of thing. It's a little too on the nose, and I wish these palm trees I'd gotten more of the trunks, but my lens was 50 millimeters, so blah, blah, blah. This shot is fairly boring. Here we go back to the camera. I think I reused a little bit of the video that you've already seen. I'm showing the DX coding thing again. So yeah, when I was there, I took my video camera, the Sony A7 thing, and then the last minute before I left on this trip, I actually just 2 or 3 hours before just went, man, should I just leave the video camera at home? I went, no, you're making a rash decision. Don't do that. You're going to get there. You're going to wish you had the video camera. But once I got there, I wanted to take around one camera. I didn't want to have to carry 2 cameras. I get very stressed out when I'm somewhere. I take some photos and I think, I got to take some video. Because I love video. I love watching video that I filmed. But I get stressed out. Like, I got to take still photos. I got to take video. Oh no, the video doesn't look that good. I'm going to have to change lenses. And then the extra weight and everything. So I didn't take any video at all. When I got back, I essentially traded the video camera for a Hasselblad, which is going to poke its way into this video at the end. Here I'm going to open the back of the camera. One thing I noticed is that they didn't put a locking switch on. To open the back, you actually don't have to flick a little locking switch like you do on the Nikon F3, for example. Maybe I'll just talk about. I'm going to show the FM2 in a second because I'm going to compare those. So the main difference between the FM2 and this is just the aperture priority mode, essentially. The FM2 has metering, and you can shoot without a battery. You just lose metering. But you don't get DX coding in the FM2, and you don't get aperture priority mode. Now, right here, my FM2 is on an Instant Magni Instax back. So I had a little trouble showing it to the camera because there's a big clunky thing on the back of it here. But the other difference, the ISO dial on the FM2 is on right there on the shutter wheel. I do like that a little better, but it's the smallest thing you could possibly imagine. Doesn't really make any difference. I think it looks way cooler that way as well, which is important to me. I love a well-designed camera. Let's talk about the F3. So I've seen a lot of things online say the F3 is the ultimate SLR Nikon's ever made. I think the FM3 beats it as far as it just has a lot more versatility. You don't have to worry about if you forget batteries. I've run out of batteries a million times. So it's nice. If you do that, you can still shoot it at every speed on the FM3a. The F3 is noticeably bigger, heavier, and probably sturdier if you really banged it or dropped it. But the FM3a is also sturdy. Most FM3as you'll find are in great condition because they came out when digital cameras were already out, and there were more advanced automatic film cameras. And so people buying these were hobbyists, like serious enthusiasts, and people who wanted sort of the ultimate mechanical, this kind of SLR, and they looked after them. And these came out, like, I can't remember, 2004 or something like that. Just look on Wikipedia. They didn't make them for too long. They cost more now than most, well, any Nikon SLRs of this style. This is a Hasselblad that I got basically as a trade or whatever for my video camera. Just thought I'd show it. You can subscribe if you want to see a video where I shoot that soon. Not a fan of this picture. These are these horses that were outside a kid's birthday party. They're colorful, but I framed this insanely badly. A lot of the shots I was taking on this trip, I was just kind of walking, taking a shot, not trying to slow down too much. Here I was eating a sandwich, watching these people enjoying playing volleyball. Seemed like a good shot, but do not like it. Now I look at it, terrible. I hate these shots. I don't know why. I always get tempted to take a picture of a bird in the sky. So stupid. Yeah, this shot's not that great either. I guess it gives you a little feel for South Beach, kind of what it... Nah, I don't know. This one I think I'm okay with the shot. I cropped it. While I was messing around with it in Lightroom, I cropped it and it looked a little better than this. It's, you know, pretty generic shot, whatever. I don't need to say how bad this is. Did they have these trams there that go around, this free tram? That was what I was on. Just felt like clicking the button. It's always my downfall. This shot, I was waiting for the tram actually in the shot, and I don't know, it's okay. It's not, I don't know, it almost looks like a stock photo for, I don't know what, food delivery or something. It's the hotel I stayed at. This is the start of another roll. It's not actually the name of the hotel. They left up the old sign despite the typeface being really gross. It's a bad shot here. Underexposed. I couldn't save that. This is interesting. There's so many birds in the sky. I never get these shots to really show how many birds are in the sky when I run into these, but that one I actually felt like I got a decent amount of birds in the sky. Still not the greatest. Yeah, and this is the, I don't know what this thing is. I'm not going to Google it. You can Google it. This is my favorite shot that I took on the trip. This is at the Modern Art Museum. Was it Modern Art Museum? I think it is. And good museum. They had a thing on Christo. And yeah, I saw this shot. I sort of tried to line it up where I could get the bridge at that angle, in that sort of position. And I really like that shot. This was someplace. I actually had another double exposure shot of this that did not come out very well. But I somehow didn't put it in this video, but whatever. This is outside of different Modern Art Museum, the Bass. Pretty cool museum. This is a piece of their art. Just joking. It's this is the last frame on the negative. There's some hole in it. I just thought it looked cool when I scanned it. Guess that's the end of this video. So just subscribe if you want to see any more videos like this, and I'll do some more if people who like this, whatever. That's the end.